I just wanted to comment that I'm a veteran myself, and if we don't live up to the promises that we make to our veterans, no one is going to enlist anymore. We're an all-volunteer force. And if we ignore the problems that are created by the service that young men and women provide to our country, we will not be able to have an all-volunteer force anymore. We will have to institute a draft again. And our sons and our daughters will feel
and I was
that
struck,
pain.
Mr. Ellsworth, when you were talking about Agent Orange and the defoliant. My predecessor spent 8 years trying to get the VA to admit that Agent Orange caused more than severe acne in our veterans. And now we find out because of spina bifida. So I would just tell all of you, each one of these pieces of legislation is
I embrace everything that my colleague just said, but for me, the cost of taking care of our veterans is the cost of going to war. And if you're not prepared to take care of our veterans when they come home from serving and sacrificing for their fellow citizens and our nation, then you ought not send them in the first place. Mr. Carney, we are spending $4,000 a second. Let me be precise, $3,919 a second in Iraq. And if we're going to spend that kind of money, we better make sure that we spend a requisite amount of money when these veterans come home. And when I hear the President and administration officials talking about supporting the troops, the best way to support our troops is to support the veterans.
I agree 100% with that. If we could just somehow figure out a way to siphon off even 20 or 25% of the graft and corruption going on in Iraq, we could fund all these programs and many, many more.
I also might add there was a comment by a colleague earlier in regards to tax cuts and spending, and certainly we all understand we need to be prudent with our expenditures. If we have $50 billion that this Congress can pass for AIDS in Africa, certainly we have the ability to spend the necessary dollars, and we all agree on the veterans. The money is there. It's how this Congress decides to allocate that money.